7 here. I'm taking 99, I'm putting 99 here, and so on. This is why I need num. We already saw it. Those are the two integers we need. This is going to be our counter incrementer. Also, I have two Boolean variables, namely found and all found. And initially I assume that all found is true. If it's changed only once to false during the scope of the program, then it will be false for the rest of the program. Basically, I stop checking furthermore. I'm defining a string variable called file name. Basically, the user should give, if the name of our file is input.txt, should give this file name as an input. And you remember the prompt string, the prompt class. There was a function called prompt string. Here, you prompt something from the user, something like give the name of the file, give the name. So you remember you're tired of writing C in, C out, give the name, C out, read it. That's why, in order to get rid of this stuff, boring stuff, we just defined the prompt class, where we defined a bunch of functions. One of them is this one, prompt string. This is the prompt. Give the name of the file. Okay. And it returns a string value, which in our case is going to be the file name. Again, I've said this at the beginning of the semester. If there is something that you don't understand, please stop me at that very moment. So if there is something not clear, stop me and ask me. Yes? Okay, you remember you are asking from the users. I expected that you would not know this one. You are asking from the users to give some input. Okay? In this case, user should give that input.txt. Okay? But you're getting boring. It's boring to write, okay, C out, give the name, C in, and you're reading the name. Okay? That's why we define this function, which is called prompt string. And instead of writing C in, give name, and C out, read the file name, this is what this function is doing. It's printing this string here, give the name, and it's returning, the user gives the input, and it returns a string, which is our file name, and that file name is assigned to the file name. Okay, this is it. You can do it, of course, with cout, give blah blah blah, and cin, this is the same, file name, nothing else. It's straightforward, okay? But if you don't want to use them, you can use this function here. Basically, this function is using those two commands inside. Okay. Now what should we do? We should open the file in order to read it. And how do we open a file? You see the first function there. But we should open with an ifstream type, data type. Its name here will be input. So input, open, I'm opening the file. And which file I'm opening? Well, no, input is ifstream. Okay, so this is ifstream class. And this ifstream class has something here which is called, it has those variables. Okay. Those take some parameters. Some of them take, some of them don't take. This ifstream class enables to open those files. Okay? So open. Now we should know which file are we opening. And we are opening this file here, the file name. But you cannot send it as a string. You should send it as a character string, copy string. You will know it in a while, what I'm talking about. Just use it as it is. So I'm opening the file. Nothing more. However, if the file does not exist, if there is a problem with the hard disk or whatever, then it might fail. That's why I'm continuing here. If there is a failure, so if this is the ifstream class, if input fail, if I cannot open it, then I cannot read anything. That's why I'm printing a proper message like error, file cannot be opened, the file was not opened, and then I'm finishing. I return 1. I can return 0, whatever. There's a reason why I return 1, but you don't want to bother with that one. If I return something, I finish. I might have 1 million codes after return, but if I return a value, the function is finished. Not only main, all of the functions. So if I cannot open the input, but pay attention again, I have input, and input.txt is not the same. So this might be, the name of this input might be my text .txt, okay? And ifstream might have another name, of course. But if I've opened, so if fail is false, that means that I've successfully opened the file. What should I do? I should do the algorithm I just told you about. So, how are you going to do that? You see, I should start from 0, you remember? From 0 up to 999. And what should I use? A loop. Which loop is more suitable in this case? Intuitively, when you say, okay, I start from 0 up to 999. 4. Intuitively, 4 comes to your mind, and we are going to use the for loop. So, for I start from 0. And when should I stop? When up until I go to 999. So I is smaller than 1000. Or what? If I see that 19 does not exist in the input file, I shouldn't check for 20, 21, and everything else. And what? If this all found is true, I should continue. But if this is false, meaning that I continue incrementing up until I is 1000 and all found is true. Meaning up until now I found all of them. Okay, if this is false, then I'm going outside because I don't have to check anymore. Of course, I should not check more than 999. And I'm incrementing it at each iteration. So again, I start from 0, I'm incrementing it at each iteration up until I is smaller than 1000, and if everything is found, then yeah, I continue. If one of them is not found, I don't have to continue. What do we do here? Now we go with this here, this boolean here. Initially, I say I didn't find the character I'm looking for. So I'm starting from 0. So I say found, you remember? Found is equal to false. I'm clearing the input. Why? Because I might have mistakes from previous iterations. And I'm going to the beginning, seek_g, because I might be in the middle, at the end, or whatever. That's why I say input seek_g0. Seek_g0. So this input clear enables me to use the input file stream operator. This seek_g0 enables me to go to the beginning. And what should I do? I'm continuing here. I start with seek_g0, I go here. So I'm taking numbers up until what? So while. If I haven't found what I'm looking for, so if I'm not found, and what? And if there are numbers that I can take, and how do I know that there are numbers? with this clause, input, I take an input and I put it to null. This IIF string, this input stream operators returns true if this operation was successful. If it's not successful, it returns false, okay? So while I can take more data and I have not found what I'm looking for, continue this one. Take it. And when I stop, I check it here. If the number I've just read is equal to I, then very nice. This found is what? If I found it, it's going to be false or true? True, of course. Found is equal to true. Otherwise, I don't have to check it. Okay. Now we will go outside from this loop. When we are going to go outside from this loop, one, if we find what we are looking for, or we will go outside also if the input fails. So let's say and it can fail if we come to the end here and we didn't take the data we are looking for. Okay, so we are looking, let's say, for 19. We didn't find 19, so we go outside. And this found, initially you remember, was false. Since we didn't find 19, it will never be true inside this iteration, so we are checking if found is equal to false. I'm asking. Pay attention to equal, equal, and equal, okay? Often you make mistakes here. So if found is equal to false, meaning if I didn't find the number, then what? If this is false, I came to the end here, I didn't find 19, for instance, then all found is going to be also false. So I'm writing all found is also false. One number is not found, then all found is going to be false. Very nice. You can return, you should print that, okay, see out, number 19 is missing, so blah, 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 okay? You can do it. So this is for this, those brackets. This is for this one, this is for this one. And we have another bracket. This is for which? This is for the for loop. So this is for for. And finally, we want to print whether we have found or not all of the numbers we were looking for. So if all found is equal to true, meaning we didn't set it to be false here, then what are we printing? The cout. All the numbers from 0 to all the numbers from 0 to 999 were found. Else, cout, at least one of them was not found. At least one of them was not found. This is it. I might return 0 now for this integer here, and main finishes. Return 0. And this is for main. Okay, did you understand this piece of code here? How many of you? Raise your hand. All of you. I mean, I really deserve, if you understood all of it, I really deserve a pizza from you. Maybe during the next week after the midterm, okay? Questions? Yes. Here. Very nice. So let's say we are looking. This is why. Let's say initially we are looking for 0. Okay. So I've opened the file. I'm here, and I'm saying, initially I'm looking for 0. While 0 is not found, and while I can take data from the file, then do this stuff here. So I'm here, and I initially found is false. That negation is going to make it true. So this is going to be true. And input none, this returns true if I can read the data. Of course, I can read 5. I read 5. This is true.
Doesn't it read as a string? Does it read as a number?
It reads it as a buffer. So it reads it only as a 5. And it tries to put 5 here to the number. If this is accepted by the number, then this guy here returns true. Okay? But if I have a string here, and I'm trying to put it here, then it returns false. Of course, it will not be put here. Okay?
So it automatically changes.
Yeah, automatically it's converted to the type we are waiting for. If it can be converted, of course. Okay? So again, if I've not found the number, while I've not found the number I'm looking, and I've not reached the end, so while I've not found the number I'm looking, and I've not reached the end, and if I can still take data, this is what I mean. If I've not found the number I'm looking, and if I still can take data, there's still more data here, numbers here, then take the number and check whether the newly taken number is the number I'm looking for. Okay, so let me finish with 0. I'm taking 5, putting here, and num is 5, I is 0. Is 5 equal to 0? No, that's why this is not going to be executed. I go here. Is it found? No, it's not found. Can I take more data? Yes, I can. So I'm taking 1. I'm taking 7 and putting here. Is 7 equal to 0? No. That's why I don't make it a true. And I iterate it. Let's say I found 0. I took this 0. Is 0 equal to 0? Yes. That this found is going to be true. So from false, it's becoming true. Okay? So I say, well, you have not found it, but I just already found it, okay? That's why I go outside here, and I check if the found is false. If I didn't find it, but I found it, that's why I go here. I is incremented by 1. So I becomes 1. I clear the flags if there is a mistake, like reading string and putting it to integer. Okay. I go to the beginning. So clear. Seek G0. Because previously I was here. With seek G0, I'm going here now. Okay. And I'm doing the same thing again. Okay. Did I find, initially, you see here, found this false. Because I didn't find 1 yet. So, it's not found. Can I take data? Yes. I'm taking 5. I'm putting it here. Is 5 equal to 1? No. Can I take more data? Yes. And I continue it like this, okay? Let's say that I don't find 19. For instance, if I don't find 19, then I'm taking data, it's not found, and I come in the end. And I cannot take more data. So this input, num, will fail. Because I came to the end, there's nothing to read anymore, so this will be false. And the while loop will stop here. I cannot execute it anymore. I'll come here and I say, okay, found is equal to false. If it's equal to, I'm asking, did I find 19? No. If I didn't find 19, then all found is equal to false. This is going to be false. And this is it. Even I can stop the for loop. Just use, computer doesn't know anything except variables, operations on variables. This is it. You should use those operations, so when they are somehow interact with each other, give this result. Okay. No questions. Yes. No, you can write it. Basically, you just print that the file cannot be opened, and you can return 0. It's a kind of a message. 0 means there's no error. But 1 is kind of an error, but you don't have to bother with that. Even if you return 0, it's okay. Then it's a mistake, because if you cannot open the file, then you cannot read from the file. Okay? And you're trying to read data from the file that you cannot open, which makes no sense. And the computer will crash. The compiler, the program will crash. Okay? Questions? Okay, good luck in your midterm exam. If you have questions, please mail me. If it's necessary, we can do some extra recitations also. But you'll have extra recitations today and tomorrow. Good luck again. See you next